light on set. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome, everyone, to season 2 of the M4 podcast. Sorry, go ahead.
Continue. Go ahead. Now you can keep going. You took over.
We're actually not going to do another intro. I think one of those will
I guess this is making the final cut. That's fine.
Right, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the M4 podcast.
Season 2.
Season 2, episode 1, I guess.
Yeah. We got a full production here. We are
we upped the budget a little bit.
Yeah,
4K.
as you can see, we upgraded from season 1.
Mm-hmm. Big upgrade.
But still the same amazing vibes. You know?
Oh my God.
Still the same amazing
same vibes you can expect. You can always expect from us, for sure.
Always
Same
in our
vibe,
2
different
episodes.
We got some loyal fans for just having 2 episodes out.
Yeah, you know,
you
30 listeners, we love you.
Shouts out to you guys.
The amount of requests I've had to keep this podcast going is insane.
It's
like
true.
Everyone is messaging me like, "Hey, when's the next episode coming out?" And it's been like 2 years or something. It's been a very long time.
That's terrible.
So this is for y'all.
We what was the date on the? Because
I
recently we were talking
election.
Huh?
It was a little before election because the first episode you and I talked about us going to get go and vote, and you roasted me for wearing Fendi to the voting booth.
That's true.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was that was October of 2020.
Grandpa Joe was running.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was right around the election.
It was right after
but since then,
lockdown.
You know, we've done
Lockdown
a lot. You know, we have an MBA graduate graduating at the end of
Not
this
MBA, MA.
Oh.
You're the MBA.
Yeah, you're the business.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've done that.
Congrats.
We got a new brother added into the family.
Yeah, we adopted.
True.
Adoption through marriage. So congratulations to you and
Thank you.
welcome Ruben, who's behind the camera tonight.
We got a lot to celebrate.
Yeah. So a lot has happened since we last spoke. I had 2 jobs, possibly 3, but back to 2. Yeah. So exciting things.
Just a very eventful past couple years.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's part of the reason why we haven't had many episodes out. But you know, we're back for good now.
There were so many things that I'm just like, you know, that were happening. I was like, oh, if only we could like have that conversation on camera and to be able to share it, because, you know, our opinions are never the same and we always have
ever.
You know,
that is very true.
Contradicting ideas and thoughts, and yeah.
You know, I was actually talking to a friend of mine, and I mentioned how.
You have a friend? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you don't, but I do. But I mentioned how whenever we're like debating something, we usually split 2 and 2. It's usually me and her that are like on the same side, and you 2 are usually on the opposite side.
I mean,
when it comes to like certain debates and stuff.
We had that on an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember the license plate thing?
The license plate. Was that on?
Check out episode 1.
Episode 1.
Check out episode 1 if you haven't listened to it already. We had a very heated debate.
What was the license plate you wanted to get?
Eat my dust.
Eat dust or something.
Dust. Okay.
Eat my dust.
Yeah.
And it's still available, actually.
It's still hella cringy, honestly.
Yeah.
But that happens a lot, like where we have a debate and it usually splits, like where me and her on the same side and you 2 are on the same side.
What was our most recent debate or like argument?
I don't know, but it happens a lot. I remember it happened with the "is water wet" thing.
That was on the podcast, wasn't it?
No, that wasn't.
Oh,
we were having that in the kitchen, remember?
I think you and I disagreed on that one.
Is water wet?
No, I think it was the same thing again. Model and I were on the same team.
I said water is not wet.
I said water is not wet because water makes things wet.
Am I by myself?
No, I think he agreed with you.
No, I don't think so.
I don't remember.
Okay, is water wet?
Where do I stand on this? I don't know.
I don't remember, honestly. I was so invested in that argument, like everything that I was saying, even when you guys were coming up with a contradicting like argument that kind of made sense, I was like, you
know what? We didn't really get into the is water wet debate because I said I didn't know how I stood on that one. We debated on whether something completely submerged in water, if that's wet.
I think
You know
the
what I'm saying?
conversation eventually got to that.
No, that was the main thing. And then we got to that topic of, is water wet? And I was like, I don't have any input on that one.
Wait,
I don't have any input on that because I wasn't sure where I stood on that one.
Yeah.
Wait, so what was the other question?
If something is completely submerged underwater, is that
wet,
item wet?
or does it become wet?
Or does it become wet after you pull it out the water?
It's wet once it's in there.
Okay. What do you say?
I don't know. I think the idea of something being wet, I think it has to come outside of the water, right? Like it has to get like involved with the oxygen and the atmosphere. So if I like throw, I don't know, a rock or something, like in my mind, that rock is not wet yet, but when you start removing it from the body of water, then...
But think of it this way.
I agree with him.
No, I disagree with that.
See, this is where the split was, because me and her are on the same side. I think that's wet.
Forget the rock, because the rock doesn't change texture. Like, think of a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
The t-shirt, how it feels to your hand outside of the water is completely different than when you submerge it. You don't have to take it out to realize it's wet.
Mm-hmm.
When you put it in the water, it's a different texture of material. So that tells you that it gets wet underneath, and you just see that it's wet when you take it out.
We were giving them some pretty good arguments, because I remember I said the roll of paper towels.
Mm-hmm.
When you put that in there, you can see the paper towel or like the roll itself like start to like morph or whatever, because it's getting wet. And I was like, how does that mean it obviously is wet if it doesn't?
How can you not answer, is water wet or not?
I don't know. Is water wet? I have to think about it.
So I think so you bring up this point, but I really think that was the birth of the M4 podcast, because I remember this was during the pandemic. We were having this conversation.
We had nothing to do. We were sitting in the kitchen.
We were just like
making like a big puzzle. Remember that puzzle on the kitchen table?
Among the list of activities that we were doing.
We painted.
But it was one of those things that it got so heated. Remember, like, my dad came into the room multiple times, like, into Malcolm? Like, what are you guys doing?
For those of you who don't speak Sudani Arabic, that means, what's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, he really thought like we were fighting or something. And to me, that was like an aha moment. And I think we did have that conversation. We said, we should make a podcast. The fact that we're having this conversation here and it's like so heated and we have different point of view, and we came up with that cringy, I
actually don't remember this incident.
You don't?
No, it happened. It didn't happen in the room. It happened in the kitchen.
Yeah,
because we were on the kitchen table.
I don't remember either.
Like, this wasn't upstairs when we.
Yeah. It wasn't like in the old studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were literally sitting in the kitchen, and my dad would walk out of the bedroom and be like, "Are you guys all right?"
Yeah, we're good. Wait, what did you say the date of the first episode was? Like around November?
It was like late October.
We built the studio like early on, but until we actually like finish setting it up.
Because I feel like one of those debates happened like
it might have been on the test episode, like a debate that we had.
Okay, wait, how long from when you like did the setup to when we recorded and uploaded? Like how long?
Considering that it was a lockdown and we weren't doing anything, I was taking my sweet time.
So like months?
No, not months. I want to say I bought the stuff sometimes in August, September, and we actually recorded our first episode towards the end of October.
That like thing with the is water wet thing, I feel like that was after iftar during Ramadan. Like we ate, and then we would always sit around that table, just talking, doing nothing. And then my dad left the room, and then that's when you were saying, "Oh, he kept on coming back in, saying, what's wrong with you guys? Like, what are you doing?" I think that was like the beginning of it. But fasting was a lot earlier.
I don't think he spent. No, he wasn't there for Ramadan.
Yeah, he was.
I think in Ramadan he was in Sudan.
No, that was the second Ramadan. The first Ramadan during COVID, he was there.
Yeah, he was there.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah. He was there during the
all of it.
Yeah. He was there with us.
He didn't go until the following year.
Right. He left in like November or December of that year.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Like that entire time frame seems like it was forever, but if you really think about it, it was just like maybe.
The crazy thing is, my sense of time has still not recovered. Like I'll say, oh yeah,
My
something
sense
was
of smell has
two-
not recovered.
2 or
Still-
3 years ago, and I'm referring to like pre-COVID. It still feels like pre-COVID is 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Can you explain your sense of smell not recovering?
Okay,
Since COVID.
I got
'Cause he got
COVID because of her. I got COVID for the first time, and I don't know. Like, if someone says, "Oh, smell this candle," I smell it. It doesn't smell like much.
Oh, the wedding? Like right
The
after the
wedding?
wedding, or when did you get
No.
COVID?
Earlier than that. Wait, was
The
it?
first time she had it was way before.
Yeah.
No, because the
first time I had it,
wedding
no
was
one
a
else
super
had it.
spreader.
Yeah,
Apparently.
I think I might be the only one that didn't actually have COVID.
Oh God,
never
you're
got
lucky.
COVID?
At no point did I have it.
You are
Oh
lucky.
no! When you were like, I think the day you left for the World Cup was the day that I got sick.
No,
and
I
that was
remember
from
that.
her wedding.
Yeah, so that was the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I think I don't remember. It was earlier than that I feel like my
No, but that was the second time she had it.
Yeah.
That wasn't the first time she had it. She had it at the
that
house
was like
before.
the third time she had.
Yeah, you had it a couple times.
No, but I also had it when I was still at the house before I left for Georgia.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
had
did.
it 3 times.
Yeah,
I had it
something like that.
twice back at home.
You're immune.
Right.
And then I had it
once here, right after the wedding. Like,
Yeah.
I think everyone in the house, you guys were saying had it or
Well,
something.
Yeah.
Because I even got nervous because I was like, oh, wait, I hop off the plane and I look at my phone and like I'm supposed to be at the World Cup right now and I see all these text messages like, hey, the whole family has COVID.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, do I have it? So I had to like
Yeah.
get tested, but thankfully
that's
I was
funny
good.
Because after the wedding and I flew immediately back to Georgia, I remember my mom calling and saying like, "Yeah, we're all sick. Everybody's sick. So and so is also." I'm like, "Oh my God, what a super
Yeah.
spreader event!" But thankfully, I didn't get it. But you're
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah.
I've never had it. I'm not at one point have I had COVID. Every time I thought I might have it and I would get tested like multiple
Wait,
times and it would be negative.
For me, it didn't last long. It was just like 2-3.5 days of just hell, and then after that I was fine.
The ironic thing is we're sitting here discussing COVID. And that's one thing you cannot discuss on you'll get flagged. Your
On-
video will get flagged.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's why I would refer to it as lockdown before like because you're not allowed to say like certain words.
Mm.
You
So
can't say corona, you can't say COVID.
You can't
Well,
you can't say
just dropped
I don't think you're supposed to
we
say
just
the
said-
P word either.
And
we're in a-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Panorama.
Pandemic.
Panorama.
A panorama. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we're definitely not gonna clip this and use it as
We're
our
making no money.
viral.
The production may decrease after this.
Yeah.
These mic stands might have to go.
Yeah, we might have to
hold this-
flip these back.
hold the mics on the next episode.
When you guys were talking about, is something going into the water wet or not wet, it made me think of that stupid situation that's all over the news right now.
No.
Oh, so
Actually,
wait.
Hold on. One second. With that, so you know how like there was like I forgot. I don't think it was a school experiment, but whatever. You know, like Nesquik, if you have it on a spoon and then you like submerge it in the milk or water or whatever, like
It doesn't dissolve.
it doesn't get wet. That is something completely submerged in water, yet it's not
No.
wet.
But that's
No.
because there's like a layer of air above it that does not allow
No, forget the layer of air. Even after you dip it and you pull it out, there's a layer that's wet and you can pop that and
Yeah.
the inside is still dry. So the outer layer that's actually in
I've never
contact,
seen that.
yeah, it is.
I think
The outer
eventually
layer
it'll
that's actually in
break
contact with the water does definitely
surface.
get wet because the color even changes and you can like
Yeah.
literally pop it and then you get to like still the dry.
I've never
powder
seen
inside.
that. I've
depending
only,
on
like,
how
dipped it in the
gently
water.
depending on how gently like you're dipping it in there, like the surface area of the water like will still form a layer above the whatever the material is. But if you just like swish it around, that
I mean, obviously,
that breaks and then it automatically
Okay,
gets
whatever.
wet.
Screw
So
that
that's
topic.
not proving your argument at all.
Yeah, there's
I
no way
still
something.
don't think water is wet, but
There's
Well,
no
yeah,
way something
water is not wet.
submerged in water is
Water
not.
makes things wet. Water itself is not wet.
wait. So what? Oh, you were
Water is
saying
just
the
water.
Something
submerged thing.
submerged in it.
Yeah, no.
Something
I don't care about the
drenched in
submerged
water
thing.
is wet.
Yeah.
Not drenched water is different. His argument is that it has to come into contact with air
No, that
before
doesn't
it's
make any
considered
sense.
wet. But it doesn't make sense because, like I said, if you put paper underwater, you can definitely see that it's wet because
Yeah.
it moves
Yeah.
differently, it feels
I think
differently, it rips easier.
Because would you say a fish is wet?
The
Yes.
outside, the
If
scales.
it's already in the water?
Yeah,
Yes. A fish is
the scales are
continuously
definitely
wet.
wet.
I have no
That-
Is
that-
it wet if
no
it's in the
further
water?
opinion
If
on
you're
this
at the
topic.
beach and you're like, some guy comes up to you and says, "Hey, that fish over there that you see under the water, yeah, that's wet." You think he's a moron.
No, you wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah,
Well,
you're
why
right.
I was like,
would
yeah,
anybody
no
even
shit.
say that?
Huh?
I'd,
Then why
yeah,
would even anybody ever even say
Well,
that?
that
No,
is
but-
saying. That's
but
what he's
Like,
saying.
I'm saying, like, something that's in the water doesn't. I don't know. I don't perceive it as wet. But I mean,
But
I
why?
guess.
Wait,
don't
so
know.
water's not wet and something in the water is not wet? So what is wet?
something out of the water that's touching water.
Something that's
In the water that
naturally
get pulled out
not
of the water?
underwater, something that's naturally not wet. Wait, that would mean that the fish is wet.
Exactly.
Okay, so whatever, something that's naturally not wet coming in contact with water makes that thing wet.
I don't know.
Right.
This is
So
hurting
if
my
you take
brain
a
out here.
fish out of water.
Yeah, so that would disregard my original thing that fish aren't wet
Right.
underwater
Right.
because they're naturally wet underwater. Whatever, screw
Yeah.
it. Speaking of water, submarines, billionaires.
A word that I've never thought of or even was part of my vocabulary was implosion. Have you guys
What?
seen some of the videos that people have recreated of
Yeah.
what an implosion is? No, I mean, you hear the word implosion, but you just, like, your brain doesn't
I
register
mean, at
it.
the time, I always like, well, not always, but before, I thought implosion and explosion were almost like synonymous. Like I didn't think there was a difference between. But now that thinking about it, like obviously the prefixes of
Mhm.
each of them is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One's inwards, one's outwards. But
Yeah.
at the time, I was like, when I heard like, oh, something exploded, I just would think kaboom. That's
Yeah,
about it.
and when someone say something imploded, you just, okay,
Mm.
and you move on.
What?
I don't know about move on, but
Yeah.
Just
But-
move on.
Just okay, move on.
Like, all right, so sad. But it's sad, it's scary, and the images that I was seeing of the actual what is it,
Submarine.
submarine, like I was begging, like, can somebody please stand next to it so I know what size this thing is?
You
I
didn't see
had
the video?
No idea.
There's a video of someone demonstrating what the inside looked like.
Oh,
and it's
you
not
have
very
to
big.
crawl in there.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot even, like, it's not even comfortable.
There's no
So
seats. They're
you
sitting
have to,
on
like,
the.
one person face this way, one person faces that way, the other person this way, and it's like it's a 5-person vessel. And but from the images, I could never tell, like,
Yeah.
what's the size of it, what are they looking for, how can, like, in 2023, people not being able to find something that disappeared, like, oh, we lost contact with something, and they still can't, get a hold of it.
That's what I thought
That's
about the.
creepy.
What is that one plane that disappeared?
the
was
Malaysia
like,
how?
7,
The Malaysian-
737.
Yeah.
Something
Is that
like
what it
that.
was?
Some
And I'm like, how in this day and age, we're just losing things that massive. But yeah,
man, it's crazy.
Hey man, obviously RIP, people died, but you're a dumbass. Why are you like it's some ball, you're getting into it to go, what is it, 13,000 feet or something
I don't know.
underwater
But people have done that
to look
before.
at some stupid shipwreck through a literal like a foot long
that's the part.
circular window, like a foot wide
Yeah.
in diameter.
Yeah.
You're going all that way, paying all this. I think it was like 250 grand
Mhm.
per seat. You're paying all that money to look at a shipwreck. That's like,
But you can't
we all know
even
it's
see
there.
it. Like, that's the part that I didn't understand was, first of all, the window is, like, so tiny, and that you're paying all this money so you can have the experience of going down there and only seeing it. Like, at least when James Cameron did it, or whatever he did, like, he was by himself, like, he had a better, like, view. I think he had a better seat than they did. And then everybody else that have gone, exploring the deep ocean and whatnot, I think they had better views and whatnot. When I saw the side of the window, like, $250K for that? No, thank you.
I'm sorry. Like,
Listen, I could have had a whole glass vessel. You would you couldn't pay me 250 grand.
if they
to
said
do
the
that.
seat is free, I'd be like, I'm good. Why do I want to? Like, it's not like you're discovering something that's like never been discovered before. It's on some like crazy expedition thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know that the ship wrecked. You know that it's there. Why do you want to like, motherfucker? I can go see this on Google. I can see it on Netflix, a documentary, whatever. Why do I need to go see it with my own eye? It's a shipwreck. Like, it's not anything special.
Yeah. I have a completely different take on this. Even after this incident, if I got the opportunity, I would totally do it.
To go see the Titanic?
I would do it.
Would you do it with that same vessel? Or would
I mean, honestly, I didn't see the windows and I didn't see the inside of the submarine that they had. But the idea of going into the deep ocean to see hell yeah, that sounds cool as hell.
Imagine like the like SpongeBob. Imagine like the windows on SpongeBob that size.
No,
like they're super small. It's like a foot long diameter. But like, why would I go through that entire journey knowing the dangers?
Can you project it on there?
I'm not saying that it's like it's a smart idea, but if I given the opportunity, I would still do it.
What is the thing called? Titan or something?
The Titan.
It's called Titan. Yeah, I heard like the not creator. What's the word?
The CEO, founder,
whatever. The
builder,
the
engineer,
dude who built the damn thing. Like he like knew there was safety risks with it and still pushed it anyway.
Yeah, no, not only him, everybody. Like
yeah, like you're knowingly going into some stupid little rock or not rock, circle ball, knowing the dangers involved, paying $250,000 just to go see some BS like that. Like
I would rather, if I was gonna do that, I would rather actually explore the ocean, like see.
That would be
cool
a better
things.
pitch. Like go explore.
Not go see some shipwreck.
Yeah.
That, like he said, everyone knows it's there.
I
would pay 200. I mean, the podcast isn't doing that well. I'm not getting paid $250,000, but I'd pay the $250,000 if it was like go explore outer space or something.
Yeah,
that's something that hasn't been explored as much.
Well, the ocean hasn't.
No, actually, the ocean hasn't been explored.
Yeah, not fully
in comparison, but still, like. I feel like you're much more likely to go see cool shit in outer space or just the experience of going outer space rather than sitting in a ball like 13,000 feet underground or underwater.
Yeah. No, I think I'm with you, Marvin. Like, oh, look at that controversial. We're splitting here. But I'm agreeing with you because I think it's really interesting and I would definitely do it. But I was going through my phone trying to find like images of it and I couldn't find it. But not with that. I would rather maybe do it solo, like have my own like nice little. You
trust yourself to build something like that?
I mean, no.
The idea of going solo is even scarier to me. I wouldn't want to do that alone.
It is scary, but I'm saying like at least you'll get a better view. You have to realize like you have to climb over somebody to get to the window that's yay small so you can see what's going on, and then you have to climb over somebody else and go, and then if you have to poopery, like you do it in front of everybody, it's like a tiny little, oh my God. I was like, no, thank you. Yeah. Like that is not a pleasant experience. But
yeah, I mean,
I would definitely like love to explore down there, but not with something that size.
So if they tell you it's a bigger submarine, you'd have a better view.
I'll do it.
And they'll tell you got to go tomorrow. Would you do it?
I'll do it.
Okay, me too. Honestly.
Until it implodes.
I mean,
but they say that guy took some shortcut and like everybody knew it wasn't safe.
Yeah, he was like
they mentioned the word death 3 times in the very first page.
Yeah.
Wasn't the owner of the submarine on the submarine?
The CEO is there.
Yeah, the founder. He was one of them. And guess what? There were a lot of like funny memes saying like, so the wife had control over, and it's via like almost like a PS5 controller, and so she was the one that was basically controlling the ship. But
they were controlling it from like here on land.
They had no control.
Wow.
And that's the crazy part. They did not have any control of it.
There was no exit
and
from
there's
inside.
no exit from inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wouldn't do that.
You would need even if I think I was actually watching a different podcast. I'm not going to name drop because that's the ops now. But like like there was like safety measures in place to where like if they like couldn't get back to the surface using like the controller or whatever, like there was like something with like a sandbag dropping and then the thing like floats up to the surface. But then at that point you're in the surface, you're hoping that someone like comes across the thing on the surface. Otherwise you have no way of getting out. Like you'd need someone to come from outside undo each of the bolts. It's like 12 bolts or something. You'd need someone to come and undo each one like themselves from the outside in order to get out.
Yeah.
So even if they did make it back up to the surface, that's probably an even worse death because you're just sitting there waiting for someone to come.
Actually, no.
And it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's way easier to find a submarine on the surface as opposed to in the ocean.
No, because if
They'll
they
definitely
lost
be found
control
then.
to it, they probably lost the
Yeah.
sonar of it.
No, but even like you know, like the Navy or whatever, like going out, or the Coast Guard going and looking for stuff. Looking for something underwater that you can't see is much harder than seeing something on the surface.
Yeah.
Like if I'm,
but then if you think like if they actually lost it and the thing just like floated away to God knows where and then floated up, it's like the middle of the ocean. That's also kind of wild.
Yeah, at that
No,
point,
it's
you already,
but
you
it's
already
still
lost a
easier than
ton
if
of
it was-
time.
it definitely would.
You
be
already
easier.
lost a ton of time underwater, like messing around trying to get back to the surface. Then you finally get to the surface. You're like, oh my god. And then you're literally looking out this stupid little window that you paid 250 grand to look out of to look at a shipwreck. You're looking out of this window, looking at like the outside
At
world.
life, but you
You're
can't
on the
do
surface.
anything.
You're above the water, and you're still sitting there begging for your life to be saved
Yeah.
by some random
No, but the thing
Navy
is
or
that-
whatever to find you, and then undo the bolts that like you should have been able. I think there should have been even if it's the last resort, like even if it destroys the entire ship, you just click a button, it destroys the whole ship, and you're able to get out. How are you not
How
putting
can
that
you
down?
get out?
well, hold on.
The
Time out.
pressure is so low
You
at
would
that
die.
point.
No,
he's saying-
I'm
he's
not
saying on
saying
the
down there.
surface. He's
I'm
saying on the
saying,
surface.
like
After you
a
get to the
safety,
surface?
safety measure. Let yourself out. You should never ever oh, my bad.
You're good.
Unless
You should
you're in
never
jail.
rely on an outside like person to be able to get you out of it. Imagine your car is you can only open it from the outside. Someone
No.
else has to come open it for you.
No,
That's
that makes
stupid.
sense. That makes sense. But think about it, right? If you're lost on the surface of the ocean somewhere to the point where people can't find you, right? Do you really want to be able to get out of that submarine? Like you're gonna be outside in the water in the middle of nowhere where no one can find you. Like what's the point?
Imagine you're close enough to like
But at that
Then you-
civilization
hold on,
then
okay.
you're-
where
then you
they're
could be
not
found.
coming to save you,
Hold on,
but
can
you're
I add
able
to
to
that?
get. I
No, but
would
you could be
100% rather have the ability to get out than be forced to sit
I
in that.
think
I
the
agree.
claustrophobic in you want
No,
to have
I'm not
that
claustrophobic.
control.
I'm
but
chilling.
hold on, and I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that idea is just
idea,
like,
yeah.
you want to be in control of it, okay?
Right.
But here's the thing, okay? They say that they descended into this, the bottom of the ocean like Saturday night, right? And then Sunday in the afternoon they lost contact. Right. So hypothetically speaking, if they did, use that safety mechanism to shoot them back up to the surface, the main control already knew that they were missing. Think about the number of people that were looking for them, right? And so if they make it into the surface, one of those many people that are looking for them would have eventually find them in no time, right? Like you have to think about it. Like they have invested between Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday they were declared, unalive. Okay. So those 5 days, people were looking for them nonstop, and they have the latest technology, latest equipment to scan the bottom of the ocean to be able to find them. The surface would have been a much easier thing. So
It's no
they would have
comparison.
been found eventually
It's way
in
easier
no
to find them
time.
on the surface.
Look,
And I
I'm
understand.
not arguing that it's not easier. It probably is. It is easier. I'm not disagreeing with you, but the fact that you're in this ball and you have no way of getting out yourself is
Right.
baffling to me.
Maybe
why
it's
would
a
you
even-
psychological thing.
No,
but-
that's
It's
I
not
agree
just
with him.
psychological.
I agree with
yeah,
him.
because
That's
imagine if you're at the bottom there and somebody just get like so claustrophobic and is losing their mind and they're like,
Why are you paying the
push it in.
250 grand to go there in
You
the
don't
first
know
place?
until
Then
you
Can't
Some
get
people
into
are
that
insane.
situation.
Some people do it.
Can't really
no,
control
but
how you-
that makes sense. That's why it should be like not just a one step, not like a doorknob that you can twist,
Yeah.
right? It's got to be
I'm
like
not-
something
yeah,
that you
I'm
take
not-
some.
Like
But
that
I'm
not
guy
saying
in the
anyone
Korean
can just
era that
sit there, click the
decided
button.
to
Yeah,
lean on
exactly.
the-
No, but I agree. Like I would not. I don't care if I'm 100% guaranteed to return. I would not want to be in there if I don't have any control of letting myself out, just in case anything goes wrong, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying I wouldn't do it in the first place. I agree with you. That's a stupid idea to not have control. But even if you're in the middle of the ocean to the point where someone can't find you, I'm gonna stay in the submarine. I'm not getting out of the submarine. So I could just float in the water as opposed to being in the submarine.
And
No,
plus,
at some
point-
your likelihood of survival is increased if you're able to open the door, because then you'd run out of oxygen quicker.
No,
You'd run
yeah,
out of
exactly.
oxygen if you're trapped inside the thing. But if I'm able to open the damn latch, be able to breathe outside air, then
Right.
my likelihood of survival instantly jumps up
maybe
because I
there
have
should be a
fresh air to
safety
breathe.
mechanism where like that function doesn't become available until it comes in contact with air. You know what I mean? Like once you come in
We
contact
When the
should pitch
submarine
the
is not
idea
wet
at the
anymore?
Ocean Gate.
When the
Get
submarine
everyone
is
to
not wet
breathe.
anymore?
Let's not go into
Or is it wet?
wet or
So
not
is that
wet.
submarine wet or not?
Oh God!
Like
Well-
that, like
well-
that outside shell of like
So
that metal on the
isn't
outside.
the implosion because of oxygen and
It's
the fact
pressure.
that it the pressure underwater? Like so. Yeah.
So it's wet.
but let's please let's
Listen,
not.
why does okay?
My
Wait,
brain
one last thing.
literally
One last
cannot function
thing.
right now.
For example, let's say the Titanic, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were able
You're
to,
about to bring up the rust thing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you said this before.
The Titanic is rusting,
You're
right?
repeating your argument.
Because it's coming in contact with water, which means it's wet.
Get original. You're
It's got to be.
repeating yourself.
Well, the people on the podcast haven't heard that argument.
Oh, they might
But it's
have
a very
heard
good
that.
argument. I can't
Um,
believe you would listen to this argument and still be so hard headed that you're not going to change your mind.
No,
Makes
I'm not. I'm
sense.
not.
Who
Not
hasn't
changing
changed
my
their
mind.
mind?
I'm just saying, like, I genuinely have no opinion on this because
I said it.
my
Yeah,
brain is
you're right.
fried right
If it's
now.
submerged, then it has to be wet because of the thing I said about the fish. But I
Also,
don't.
you
I
did change
still,
your mind.
yeah.
yeah, I agree with you that
Oh, okay,
something
okay.
submerged underwater would have to be wet.
What about you?
I can't. No opinion. No comment.
Hard headed. That's what I'm saying.
No, but it's just it's that. I think what has given me closure with this whole situation is the idea that this happened so quickly. They say that they didn't even know it was going to happen.
Well, no,
right?
they knew
If
it was
that
going to
is-
happen.
if
but
that is what
they
happened.
didn't feel it.
No, they didn't know it was going to happen.
No, they said
How
it
did they not
happens
know?
like
because it's
instantaneous.
just like that. Like you,
Oh no! Like the implosion itself was instant, but
not the implosion, the fact that they were in trouble. Well, we don't know what we don't know, right? Like maybe they knew that they lost contact. Maybe they knew that, they're in trouble or something.
I mean, yeah, going
But here's the
into it,
thing.
you would know like you only have oxygen that lasts 2 days, and you're like, well, damn, them motherfuckers haven't contacted me in about 47 hours.
No, but I
damn,
think
it's coming
but
close.
I mean,
we don't
I don't
know
know-
when
I
they
don't know enough-
when it imploded,
Right,
right?
that's what I'm
we don't
saying.
know
I don't
when
know
that
enough.
happened.
Didn't they say they heard something that
No,
they think
that
is?
wasn't from that.
Okay.
They heard like some noises down there, but they said that was from something else. It's
I
not
haven't
from-
followed it closely enough to know if this is actually the case. But
Oh, I
my
couldn't even
theory,
avoid it.
my theory is that they lost them within like 2 hours
Yeah.
after the journey. Supposed to be like 11 hours, 9 hours, something like that, and they lost them in the first like hour and a half to 2 hours. So my theory is that the implosion happened
Early
fairly
on,
quickly,
yeah.
and that's why they lost signal of the thing in the first place. I don't see why they would just lose it and then the implosion happens, because
Yeah.
then why did they lose them in the first place?
Unless the submarine was malfunctioning, like the creator
I
or
mean,
the
they
builder of
did
it
say that
said.
the dude
True.
cut corners in order
Yeah,
to
no.
Right.
push this
Um,
thing.
When it's
It-
something like that,
Uh,
the idea of like cutting corners is like, why even take that risk? Like that in itself.
You're a billionaire.
If
right?
everything,
Isn't he a billionaire? He must be.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, for
If
him to create this thing, I would think he has to.
for you to even
He
if
was.
something was 100% going right, this is still something super risky.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you cut corners?
Yeah,
Yeah,
why would you
know.
not? And it's one like if it's one thing if you're like an evil person and you cut corners like for someone else's journey. Like say I'm the evil billionaire,
Mm-hmm.
like and these other group of people want to go down and do that, and then I cut corners. I'm just a dickhead at that point. But if I'm joining them, nigga, I'm taking every precaution to make sure I come back alive.
Yeah. No, I mean, like,
Unless you want to.
we don't know what
Unless-
level
yeah, unless-
of
unless
shortcut he took.
Taxman's
like,
coming after
you
me.
know,
I mean-
some regulations are just silly and
Right. He
stupid,
probably just
so
got
I don't know
advised,
what-
like, I mean, this isn't the most optimum thing, but you
Yeah.
should be fine still. He probably just
and
got
then
a bunch
plus,
of fat.
obviously, if he took like such a risk, I mean, to be honest, like I hate to say this, but I think he's in a better situation being in the vessel with them than have he. I think it would have been a lot worse if he was
Oh, if he was still alive,
if he
and,
not
like,
alive,
sent
but if
the-
he didn't even go in there
Yeah,
with
yeah,
them,
if he had
like
sent
there
people
might
to
have been
yeah.
like some
Yeah, there would've been, like,
litigation and stuff like that. So
I feel like
I mean,
there's
he gets
probably
sued
still
to hell.
going
I mean,
to be a
there's
lawsuit.
For the company,
granted,
probably.
like probably not because you signed a waiver. Like
sure there
signed
was
No,
a
but
lot of
I'm
waivers.
sure a waiver doesn't exclude.
No,
like,
it does
like,
tell you.
No, it doesn't exclude negligence on the company's part.
No, but it tells you like straight up, like, you know,
No, you could sign
something-
it away, but negligence on the company's part is they're still liable. No,
I don't know.
I would think to some extent.
I don't know.
Like I can't promise you, hey, this is
Safe.
a good. Not. I don't think they can promise them it's safe.
yeah,
Like,
like if
hey,
I
this
say
is a 100% good vessel you can take down there and come back up, but it's not 100% good. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I did cut some corners. Or
like
whatever. You know, the saddest thing that I read this article where it was like, you know, there was like a businessman from England and his son was with him.
Kid didn't want to go.
Yeah, apparently the kid was like he was like super terrified of the idea and he did not want to go. And it just so happened to be like Father's Day weekend. So he was like, okay, my dad is really into this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with him just because it's Father's Day. That's the only reason why I'm going.
Yeah.
And then this ends up happening.
I
It's, like,
I
pretty
also
sad.
like anytime something like this that goes viral and it's like headlines and everybody is invested in watching, I always like think about the family, right?
Yeah.
Like others that are, you know, that they left behind. I can't even like wrap my head around like, you know, something like that. Like you just mentioned, like, can you imagine like, I don't know how many siblings he might have, or if, you know, his mom is still around and something like that, for her and them to realize like this is something that he didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And if eventually did it. So
yeah, that's a sad part.
it is
like,
sad.
all the other ones, like you willingly wanted to do that, right? You understand the risk of going down there and you wanted to take the risk yourself. Cool. That's your option, right? Like if for me, for example, I would take that risk. Cool. That's my option. If something bad happens, I got to live with I got to not live with those consequences, right?
I remember when I went skydiving, first of all, it's a similar like the form is yay thick. You had to like initial every single page, full signature every other page. It's like so many, and I was thinking in my head, I was like, do I just call and say something, or do I just like?
I didn't even know you've been skydiving
Oh
before.
yeah, I have.
I remember this was
15,000. Oh yeah, that was high school.
That was way back in the day. I remember that.
15,000 feet in the air, and the funny part, so you go. First of all, you have like I want to say like an hour or 2 hour long training before you actually go, right? And it's in a classroom. You're watching a video, and there's an instructor and all of that, and you know you go through the entire training, right? Then you go and you put on your suit and whatnot. You know, put on your equipment, and then you're just waiting for the plane, right? The plane is not the most flattering thing ever. Similar to the vessel, you have to crawl in. Like you can't even like stand, or like you just have to crawl in, and they take off with the door open, and it's so creepy and scary, and you're just hearing the wind and whatnot, and so you jump and you're enjoying the view, and you eventually like it feels like 4 hours until you make it back to the ground, right? But it's not. It's like a really short amount of time. So then after you land, you're supposed to go with your tandem instructor, who will then go and like, you know, go over a checklist with you. And so like, okay, did you check the air pressure when you were up there, and like what measurement, blah, blah, blah. So they tell you when you get to, immediately when you jump out, you're supposed to release the first parachute or something, right? And then after 11,000 feet, you're supposed to release the parachute and then descend all the way down to the ground, right? And so he's like, did you release your parachute? And I did not. I'm supposed to do it, right? And so he was tapping my head, right? Basically trying to remind me, like, you know,
hey, it's
so
time.
When he tapped you in the head, you're supposed to like look and see where you're at. And so every time he was tapping, I was like, what is this nigga doing? Like, why is he tapping my head? I'm checking. We're good. We're at 11. And so he releases the parachute. I'm not even thinking about it, right? And so then when we're back on the ground and like he's going through the checklist with me to give me my diploma, he's like, yeah, did you release your parachute? I was like, oh crap, I did not.
You would have been dead.
Imagine going skydiving and the one thing you got to do is release a parachute.
The
You
one
don't do
thing
that.
I had to do.
You don't do
to
that.
It's like,
secure
damn,
my
I'm getting
safety.
kind of low to the
my
ground.
God.
Crazy.
Going.
Would you want to go skydiving?
Probably, yeah.
You would?
See,
You didn't seem excited about it.
why?
Like,
Why would you go?
mean-
Is it because it's a less risk than going underwater, but you would do one and not the other? I mean, skydiving
Because
is
skydiving is like an attraction. It's like a fun thing to do. I don't find like getting in a.
But that's because you're not interested in that. Like you just don't find it fun, right? Someone could be like, skydiving is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, why would someone do that? It's something that interests you though, so you'll be willing to do it. That's why someone that's going underwater in a submarine, I find that interesting. That's why I would want to do it. You can't be like, oh, that's absolutely insane.
I'm not saying going on a trip underwater is stupid. I'm saying the purpose of their trip is stupid.
To
go see the
you're
Titanic.
going to see some stupid wreckage that's been there for.
Okay, then what's the purpose of skydiving? Just to feel the wind and like fall to the ground? Someone
at least you're experiencing the wind and the thrill of
that's it. That's a thrill. That's an adrenaline.
The thrill of being underwater?
No, if you're skydiving, you're actually physically experiencing the thrill of falling.
I think there's
if you're underwater to that extent,
that amount of pressure.
That's so much thrill. What are you talking about? That's more thrilling than falling from the sky.
You're kind of going the opposite direction here.
Yes, it is.
Because in one you're going this way, and the other one you're going this way.
Wait, one is way more common, right? One is obviously more risky than the other. That innately makes it more thrilling.
I think you ask any human being, what is more thrilling? Sitting in a little what's a word to describe it?
A vessel.
A little vessel, a little ship thing. And sitting there for however long the journey is to get to the bottom, look outside of a window, and then do that exact same trip right back to the surface. Is that more thrilling, or is
your only view of the thrill is like the smallest window versus you jumping off a plane where you're feeling the wind and you're feeling yourself free falling to the ground?
Like that's a matter of opinion.
In the submarine, you're still just sitting there. You're still just sitting there. It's not like you're doing anything extraordinary. You're sitting in a
think about
and you're going down.
Here.
Wait, one mic at a time. One mic at a time.
You're comparing the interest level, and that someone can find that really thrilling. Yes,
the interest makes sense. But if you're talking about strictly thrill, like what's a more thrill? There's no comparison.
Your thrill is based on your opinion.
But there's a difference between the actual physical experience of being in a vessel and being lowered slowly, where you can see outside through whatever size window, and you're just sitting there.
Okay. Now question. Wait, hold on.
Let me finish. So then, sure, that could be thrilling. Like, wow, I went down to the Titanic and I saw the wreckage. That's a completely different type of thrilling as jumping off a plane. Sure, someone can think that going to the ocean is way more thrilling than this. But if you compare the physical response to the experience,
no one's saying physically.
That's what we mean by the experience.
Hold on, can I hear Marvin first before you jump in? Hold on. Let me hear what Marvin wants to say.
But to me, it's more thrilling to go there, right? To go underwater, right? Maybe not physically, because you don't actually. I mean, you of all people should know. You're into psychology and whatnot. You of all people should know. Like a person's mental state can have a physical effect on you, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So if I am excited to the point where, like, if I'm so passionate about the Titanic and I'm super excited to be underwater like this, I can physically feel pleasure. Like I can, like this is so thrilling for me. Like it could be way more thrilling than feeling the wind hit me. Like who cares about that, right? And listen, the fact that there's way more people that do skydiving than go in submarine or go on into a submarine underwater, that should tell you that obviously the submarine one is way more risky, right? Or not as easy to access. Okay.
It's not as attainable.
But we can all agree that it's way more risky, right?
I don't know, is it?
I would say
probably,
so.
Yeah.
If you fall to the ground and if you skydive and your parachute fails and you smack the ground, it's equally as risky.
Right.
I think it's the fact that it's difficult to achieve that, right? You need the proper equipment.
There's so many things that can go wrong
training.
On that. Skydiving, your parachute doesn't come off, you hit the ground, right? Mm-hmm. That's probably the main, that's the one thing that can go bad.
There's probably
when you're in the ocean that nobody knows, like we don't even know what's down there with you.
Can you even go without like getting proper like clearance from?
You're saying underwater?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think.
Listen, to me, there's no comparison in the risk. Like, sure, your parachute can go bad and you can fall, but there's 1,000,001 things that can go bad when you're underwater.
But there's also 1,000,001 backup plans. I feel like if you were in a like an official submarine,
right? You should have it, right? And there's backup plans for parachutes failing as well. You have a backup parachute.
I think there's a lot less backup plans when you're plummeting to the earth.
Okay,
versus when you're in a safe ship going underwater.
The fact that there's less backup plans for the parachute should show you that it's not as risky as going into a submarine.
Well, it sounds like the submarine had zero backup plans.
How did we get back to the submarine all over again?
because that's a different thing. Because that one's like that's some like billionaire deciding to make his own submarine, but like in a what is it called? The Navy's submarine. It's the Navy, right? Yeah, the Navy's the water one or marine. I don't know.
Whatever.
One of them niggas.
Whatever. We get it.
Their submarine. There's probably 1,000,001 backup plans for that. Because it's like an official thing. It's a government thing.
But okay, but what is more dangerous, right? Something that has 1,000,001 backup plans just in case something goes wrong, or something that has a couple backup plans? Obviously, the one with 1,000,001 is way more dangerous. There's a reason why there's 1,000,001 backup plans for it.
No, I don't think that's necessarily
what other
true.
backup plan could you have for skydiving? A big ass net to catch you in case the parachute fails.
Whatever.
There can't really be other safety measures.
But
you
that's
can
what
have like double.
The number of backup
like,
plans does not. I don't think that necessarily means that one's
more dangerous than the other.
Sure it does.
No.
Sure it does.
I don't know.
What is something that's not risky that has 1,000,001 like safety precautions, where something that's risky or it has more than something that is risky? That makes no sense.
It's hard for me to think of an example.
A car?
But.
Okay, you even said you agree that going underwater in a submarine 15,000 feet is probably more dangerous than skydiving. You said that, right?
In a rickety ass like homemade damn submarine, yes.
Okay, sure.
Submarine.
Listen, just the fact that you're going 15,000 into the ocean, something that we don't understand at all, as opposed to jumping from a plane to the ground.
Wait,
I think
15,000 feet on. That's it.
What do you mean that's it, Nick?
They just went 15,000 feet under.
I don't know how deep.
There's like I don't know the actual numbers, but it's definitely like it's like deeper than the Grand Canyon. It's like 3 of the Burj Khalifas. It's like super low.
Really? Just 15,000 and they couldn't.
I don't know the official like the actual numbers. We just kind of threw out 50.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Crazy.
There was like
I jumped from 15,000, so I'm just doing a comparison. So if I jump from 15,000, so that's literally the distance. Just go in the opposite direction.
Do you jump from 15,000 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, whatever it is, I don't know what the number is.
That's crazy to me that it's just.
I don't know what the number is.
Think about this: like people from Earth, like my friend, were down there and they filmed me with their phone, like as I jumped off the plane and stuff like that. They were able to see me, right? Yeah. And they could spot me where they recorded the whole thing until I made it down, right? Let that just sink in. If it was indeed 15,000, they went into the opposite direction and it took days. And they still haven't found the entire vessel, and they can't even go down there to retrieve it. They have to retrieve it. They have to send a robot down there to
because it's dangerous. It's way more dangerous. Like there's no way. There's no way. If we had the whole ocean floor mapped out, we knew where everything is in the ocean, that'll be fine. But you have no idea what the hell is down there. Like what is it like? What did they say? Like only 5% of the ocean is discovered or something, or like
it's insane.
Mapped out, explored,
I keep going
whatever.
Back to that image, remember, like
how deep the ocean actually is. You can't tell me that's not
discovered versus
you
not
can't
discovered.
tell me that's not more dangerous. You don't even know what creatures are down there.
Yeah,
there's no way that's not no more dangerous than skydiving. And just innately the fact that is way more dangerous, like a thrill junkie would find that way more thrilling than skydiving.
Oh my God! Wait. So the Titanic is 12,500 feet
underwater.
Sure.
So they went about 13,000.
Literally the distance that I jumped from. So it's insane to me that the fact that the distance, exactly like I said, is the same going the opposite direction, and they couldn't even see them, or the idea that they can't even go down there to grab them and come back up, or bring the wreckage up.
Dude, you can't even see in front of you. Like, let's say you were able to survive right there. It's like pitch black. Like you can't see. Like you need some lights or something. It's just pitch black.
Point. You're going down there to some wreckage and you can't even see it.
No, they have lights, of course.
SpongeBob window.
Of course, they have some
SpongeBob window.
So stupid.
I don't know. That's like a different level of
Look, if they said go in what is it called, the Mariana Trench or whatever, to explore that would be more cool to me than.
But what do you
going
see there?
to see some stupid? No, because there's actually some crazy creatures that we've never seen before.
I know you don't see a crazy creature swimming by the Titanic when you're down there.
Okay, but the purpose of this trip and the purpose of that trip, one is to go see the Titanic, one is to go explore like deep in the ocean.
But the thing
one has a purpose of going to see this
like,
specific shipwreck.
If you're
one
an
is just to go explore.
If you're an explorer, and if you're somebody who really admire and get a thrill from these things, like they would pay any amount to do that.
And you can't tell them that that's not exciting.
I can see someone paying that amount. I've said I would probably pay that, or well, no, I said I'd pay the amount to go to space, but I could see the intrigue if it's go explore the some of the surface of, or the like I said, the Mariana Trench. If it's to go explore that, I can 100% get behind that.
Maybe it's baby step.
Their whole like trip was planned out. Let's go down, look at the Titanic shipwreck, and then come back up.
Okay, but that kid that I told you about that didn't want to go and it only went because his dad wanted to go, and it was Father's Day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He said the dad was a super giant Titanic fanatic.
Yeah,
like he wants to see the Titanic. Like there are people that are like that, and you can't tell them like, oh, that's a stupid thing just because they're interested in the Titanic. Maybe just because you're not into it doesn't mean because other people are into it, it's stupid. Like admit.
Yeah.
That's just you. That's what I'm saying. It's a matter of opinion. You might not find that exciting or thrilling or whatever.
Yeah.
But to others, to someone else,
that's the vast majority. If you ask someone what's more thrilling, going in a submarine
to see the Titanic,
deep into the ocean to see the Titanic, and then come back up, versus jumping out of a plane.
Okay.
But
now here's the thing.
I think.
Well, hold on. Time out. No, okay, that might be true right now. But if you tell them, let's say for example, in an ideal world, the amount of risk of skydiving and the amount of risk of going down to the Titanic and coming back up is exactly the same. Right?
I still think
no. Then I don't think it's. Then I don't.
I still think the skydiving would be much.
I don't think so.
Because look,
the reason why people don't go in submarines is because it's scary. If you can,
it's also not that accessible.
No, I'm saying it's not accessible, right? Yeah. If you have the same means, if you have the same ability to go skydiving, and it's the same amount of risk as you do to go see the Titanic underwater, same amount of risk, same way of getting it, same cost, whatever it is, everything is the same. Just one is skydiving, one is going down to the Titanic. I think there'll be more people that go to Titanic.
That okay, we're talking about like adrenaline junkies. What would they prefer? I would 100%, regardless of how safe it is, if they were both like the risk is the same for both. I still think the skydiving one would be more of an adrenaline rush because let me finish. Because of the fact that the whole submarine thing, it's a massive journey. You might have adrenaline going into it, going into the submarine, sitting in it for the first like 10 minutes. You're probably like, oh my god, it's super giddy. But then you have an adrenaline crash. Then you're sitting there waiting. Then you go. How long did you say the journey was?
I think it was gonna be like 11 hours.
Oh, we'll go with it. 11 hours. You're sitting there for 11 hours, sitting in this thing. Your adrenaline is not staying the same. You're not gaining more adrenaline. You're nothing. You're going all the way down, and then you're seeing the thing. You might get a little bit of adrenaline when you're looking at the damn thing, and then you got to come another 11 hours right back. Versus how long is skydiving? 10 minutes.
That's like flying overseas, though.
When from you're there.
That's like flying overseas. You can have a plane ride that lasts 12 hours.
I mean, I think that's a matter of perspective.
And I don't think
depends on who you ask.
I don't think anyone would argue that a plane ride is more adrenaline than jumping out of the plane.
No one would. I'm saying you're saying the time is it makes you not excited about what you're about to go see.
Yeah, your excitement will not contain itself for that long.
If I'm flying to, let's say, Tokyo or something, it's a however many hour flight. Let's say it's 11 hours.
You'll be excited. You'll
the whole time.
Yes, but your level of excitement will not be at the exact same level of the 45 seconds that you're flying out of a plane.
Are you the adrenaline police? This is what you're saying.
This is your opinion.
Our whole thing was talking about what would be more thrilling. And what would be more thrilling
to you? So why can't you understand? Why can't you understand that somebody else, literally, like when we watch that video, right, and they tell you all the different creatures that you would
that's
encounter.
Cool to me. I agree.
Hold on. But that's what I'm saying. So these people, as they're descending down to the Titanic, maybe they would have seen some of these
No, you can't. It's pitch black.
They might have flashlights on.
They probably have the flashlights.
But I'm just saying, as you're descending down, maybe they have that exact same video or a list of things. Okay, guys, we're at this surface now, and so we could encounter a blah blah blah, right? Okay, now we're at this point. We could encounter this and that. So maybe as you're going through the journey, just the idea of you reaching that level of underwater experience is what excites you, right?
Just the fact.
I agree. It can definitely be exciting.
Why are we arguing?
But we were talking about if they had the exact same risk, what would the general public think is more thrilling? That was our whole thing.
Yeah, and I think it'll be way more even than you would think.
I disagree. I feel like because it's expanded over such a long journey, you cannot contain that excitement. Like peak.
No, okay. That's another factor, right? We have to limit that as well. Like we can say you get to skydive. How can you
possibly limit that?
You get to skydive. I'm saying this is an ideal world, right? This is like a random scenario. I'm saying.
Yeah.
You are in the plane, right? Forget about the signing of the waivers, all that. We can mitigate all. We can get rid of all that, right? Literally, just the act of going from the plane to the ground. Let's say that lasts 10 seconds, okay? Mm-hmm. And then literally, let's say that whole trip lasts 10 seconds. You get to go see the Titanic and come back. I'm saying if everything else is even, right?
What
would be more thrilling? You getting to say, hey, I got to see the Titanic, or hey, I jumped out of a plane. I think if the risk and everything was even, I think way more people would say, I'd rather see the Titanic.
I mean,
that's the Titanic.
You even know that I jumped off a plane. Because it's not something to like brag about.
Okay, what's a more rare thing to do? Sure, yeah. Okay, so that doesn't mean it's more thrilling.
Rare and
it depends on who you ask.
It depends on
who. Look, we can conduct a damn survey. We can ask 100 people, like it's Family Feud, nigga. I guarantee a majority of people, if we
you want to put money on it,
I will put however much money you want.
Okay, episode 2, we're gonna
guarantee
release,
if you tell people that exact thing, risks the same, everything the same, 10-minute journey, jumping out of a plane or going down to the Titanic and coming back up, 10 minutes each, which one's more thrilling? I guarantee a ton more will say the skydiving is more thrilling.
I think it would be way more even. I think it would be way more even than you think.
I don't know if
I'm willing to bet with any of you.
60-40. 60% going diving.
Maybe, but it's a lot closer than you.
Diving?
Yeah. I think so.
Listen, even if it's 60, even if it's 60 for skydiving.
I agree. It's the exploring part is cool, but we're just talking about the Titanic thing. We're not saying go explore down there for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but you're not going down there with your eyes closed.
Just saying, just for someone to say,
it's just a 10-minute thing.
Just for someone to experience seeing the Titanic with their own eyes, I think that is enough for people to be like, yeah, I'd rather do that.
I think an overwhelming majority of the population will not give a rat's ass over seeing the damn Titanic shipwreck.
I think a lot more people would be interested in it than you might think.
For sure. That's what I'm saying.
I'm down to be proven wrong. If you guys listening want to comment, if you guys listening want to comment, let me know. I'm wrong. Go ahead.
Please prove him wrong.
But I will gladly.
I'm not saying the Titanic. Way more people are going to do the Titanic. I feel like it'll be way more even. Like not.
What does that mean though? We need to quantify this.
Maximum like 40-60, like he said. Either way.
Okay.
I think it's a lot. It's a lot steeper than 40.
I don't think so.
We're going to find the survey. We're going to put it online, and then we'll see what people actually.
We can conduct the survey ourselves. I'll put however much money any of you want.
Yeah, and
people, skydiving is a lot more thrilling.
Episode 2
to you
devoted to the submarine.
Forget
situation.
Me, nigga. We're saying in the survey.
How are you gonna say? How are you gonna assume how people think?
So hold
on.
What
is
this whole bad?
Time out. The three of us are telling you it's probably way more closer than you think.
I disagree. That's why we're doing this bet.
Right. But right now I'm saying 75% are saying it's going to be more even.
You know how
You're the only one that's saying.
You know how people will literally spend, I don't know how long it takes them to do it, but you know how people spend like days upon days upon days to climb freaking mountains? They do that just because of the adrenaline. It's a days long journey. It doesn't make it less thrilling than skydiving.
But
that was a sigh of damn.
No,
she got me
because it's a valid point. If you weren't having the physical experience of climbing the mountain, You get what I'm saying?
Huh?
The physical experience of climbing the mountain is nothing but bad.
Yeah, it's
Your
pretty
breathing
No,
is
but
hard.
that's
You're
part of-
tired as
that's
hell.
part of the adrenaline like kicking in.
But they're all
that
negative
you're doing
experiences.
these things. But if you're telling someone sit in this thing,
You wanna know
you're
what's
not
bad about
experiencing
that?
anything. You're
you
not
realize,
Look,
like,
hold on.
if all four of us, the climb is so difficult. If all four of us, okay, God forbid, I stop breathing and I faint,
Mhm.
you can't even stop to help me. You have to ignore me and keep going.
What does that have to do with what I'm saying?
I'm saying
That
that's
sounds
how
like a terrible
difficult and
time.
challenging
You're
it is.
saying
Yeah.
you're saying
People still
the part
do
of the
it.
adrenaline is the part of the adrenaline is the riskiness of it, which is why I think it would be way more thrilling to go down there because it's so damn risky.
Look, the people climbing the mountain are experiencing physical changes that aid in their adrenaline kicking in.
No,
But they're
doesn't.
negative. The thing I'm saying is they're negative though, right? Like you're
the-
not gonna.
Here's the thing,
Regardless.
people. No. The journey is not enjoyable at all. Any
Right.
climber will
No,
tell you they go through that treacherous journey so that they
For
get
the
to the top
finale.
and experience the adrenaline.
Right.
The climb does not contribute to the adrenaline. It doesn't.
You would even hear
It's
people.
a very, very
You even hear
volatile
people on
experience.
other podcasts and stuff that talk about stuff that they've done like this. It's like it was so treacherous. It
Oh,
was
but
so
it was
hard.
so worth it
so
once you
much
reach the
work.
peak.
They have
But
to
as soon as you
train
get to
for
that
it,
peak
too.
and you look over and you
Yeah.
see the rest of the Himalayas and whatever, you're like, wow, this is the best feeling ever.
That journey
At
is
that
much
point.
worse than
I
sitting in a
agree.
submarine
Okay,
for however
but
many hours.
I feel like still the fact that they're experiencing those changes in weather, those changes in damn, I'm feeling tired, versus sitting in your seat for 11 hours,
But that's
their
what you
adrenaline is
think.
not going to be the
You
same.
don't know that.
Regardless of
You
how
don't
much they
know
enjoy
until
the
you've
thing.
actually
Okay,
done it.
if you ask majority of the people, would you rather be tired for 11 hours to climb this thing, or would you rather be sitting,
Sitting.
not
Most
doing
people
anything,
would
not
pick
being
that.
tired? They would pick the sitting. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
That's not the argument.
no, but we're saying
I
if
think
people
okay,
would be
okay.
more
I
We're
think-
willing.
not
here-
saying
I think-
what would be.
Listen,
Hold on.
here's the thing. We're
You
not
were
going to
saying
convince
the
you.
adrenaline wise.
Yeah, of
Okay.
being at the peak, of seeing the Titanic, of jumping out of the plane. That's the thrilling part, right?
Uh-huh.
Seeing the Titanic,
Okay.
being at the peak, or the actual falling down to the ground part.
Mhm.
That's the stuff that's thrilling,
Uh-huh.
right? The journey leading to it, I'm not saying, oh, it's gonna be so much fun sitting in the submarine and
But
just
that's part
waiting.
of it.
Right? But I'm saying
So
if-
is the climbing, and so is the sitting in the class and signing the paper and going
all of
through
that.
the.
And that's why
all
I
of that
said
is part of the
if
journey.
you delete all of that, you literally just have the jumping part of it, the thrill of jumping, right? Or the thrill of seeing the Titanic, or the thrill of being on the peak of Mount Everest. I feel like more people would pick Mount Everest than skydiving. Like being on the peak of Mount Everest, like
if you eliminate the journey.
yeah, if you're able to snap your finger and be on the peak, or if you're able to snap your finger and be falling to the ground, or snap your finger.
I still don't agree.
I mean, that's okay. We
Okay,
can agree to
that's
But
disagree.
your-
whatever. We have this bet. I'm
Listen,
willing to shake
that's
on
your
it. Whatever
that's your
you want.
opinion. That's your opinion, and what I'm saying, and I'm
What's the
saying
bet?
is,
What's the bet?
I don't know,
Shake on whatever. Name a price and shake on it.
Okay.
whatever you want. Yeah, let's spit on your hand and then shake it.
You're saying what? That more people would opt for
He said the
skydiving?
vast majority,
The vast-
without a doubt,
over-
would pick skydiving.
He said 60-40.
I
I say over
60-40 too.
60-40. The difference in people that would rather skydive than go see the Titanic.
Okay.
So
will
61.
All else, but we have to.
I feel like
people are gonna
this
be biased
experience
regardless.
is gonna make people really biased and really
For sure.
apprehensive.
No, that's
for
why we
not
put it in that
agreeing
context
to
of
that.
take away the
Even-
experience,
even if you
the
tell them.
journey or any of that.
even if
We're
you
gonna
tell
have to
them,
do
people
a lot of explaining. when we
subconsciously gonna be
survey
thinking
these
about that.
people.
Oh no,
yeah,
that
that's
that,
gonna be a very long, drawn out poll.
Okay, well, I mean,
Anyway,
there's
I wanna
faults in
change
every
topic, guys.
survey,
Like,
whatever.
We've been
Yeah.
like talking about this for like
they'd be like, oh no,
5
damn,
hours
that,
now.
even if the journey was the same amount, that is just scary. I wouldn't want to be down there. Like people are gonna, even if you tell them like,
Regardless, fear
fear
set
level.
aside, all that stuff set
yeah,
aside.
but people
I
are gonna
still
think
think a lot more people would rather
well, I think you're
skydive.
wrong.
Okay, well, we'll find out.
Well, I mean, there's no way that we're gonna convince you otherwise. So
Yeah.
I think we should just
I mean, I'll prove my case
Move on.
with the survey.
Can we
Mm-hmm.
make a bet on what's his name? Elon Musk versus is
Mark
that actually
Zuckerberg.
happening?
I mean, they said it. I think
Dana White said that it's in the works.
it might just be a meme.
I
It
don't
might
think-
just
I
be a
don't
joke.
think-
didn't they
But-
say that for a while about Chris Brown and Soulja Boy or something? Soulja Boy and somebody else.
They did.
Soulja Boy challenged somebody else to a boxing.
I think
or-
it was
Is he
Chris
still
Brown.
I
relevant?
think it was Chris Brown.
Soldier Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's,
I mean, he's
he's
kind of a
doing his
meme
thing.
now.
I thought the meme like I was the first
The
nigga.
what?
I'm the first
Huh?
rapper to do this,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like that whole Drake.
Drake.
Right.
Yeah, all that. He's
Unreal.
just I feel like it's not because his music.
No, but
He's just
what
relevant
triggered
lyrics.
this?
He actually streamed on
Elon
Twitch.
Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
I think it was just like
Page
not a Facebook post. Was it Instagram? It might have been. Elon. I think Elon challenged Mark. Or no, Mark challenged Elon to a cage fight.
Why
Mark?
would
Just
Mark
out the
do
blue?
that?
Mark's
Mark's been training.
yeah. Mark.
He looks a lot bigger actually.
Yeah,
Like he looks way
Mark's-
more
I think
cut. Like he looks
Mark
built.
does
Wait,
jiu-jitsu
why?
or judo. I don't know.
What? I'm just trying to understand the context of it all.
I don't know
hey,
why he
One of
challenged
them
him.
just
Is it-
challenged the other.
is it
Let's
for
have a
Four
fight.
charity?
billionaires.
Were
I don't
they
know.
I mean, it's probably like-
disagreeing about
It's probably like,
something?
hey, I own Instagram, you own Twitter. Let's fight it out, just cause.
Oh God,
It's probably something like that.
That's
Unreal.
literally how it happened. One of them put out a tweet or an
Billionaires
Instagram or
being
whatever
stupid with their money.
saying to fight,
Yeah.
and the other one agreed, and then that's it.
Unreal.
Yeah, I don't know about. I mean, I'm not sure of like their heights or whatever, but I feel like Mark Zuckerberg is a tiny guy, isn't he?
That's
Like height wise,
but
Oh,
also
okay.
I
and I
feel
feel like Elon Musk might be kind of tall, isn't he?
I can't. Why they got got him looking bogus like this? I was like, what happened to his
That's
face?
kind of how he looks.
I
The
mean, it
lizard
is,
person.
but he looks weird.
But yeah, you see his body is like he.
This is
definitely-
AI. This is not.
No,
a real
I saw a
picture.
picture of him, and he was definitely. I mean, he had a shirt on, granted,
I mean,
but he definitely looks like way more fit. Like it's not like the little scrawny nerdy
I
guy
don't
that
think
you.
anybody would pay to watch that.
Okay, according to UFC President
they would.
Dana
That's
White,
not him. if
both
that's what
guys
it
are
is.
absolutely dead serious.
That's not him.
That's
No, it's
good.
not
Dana
him.
White is gonna say that. Like it's trying to like
That's promotion
hype
for.
it up.
That's promotion for his.
I mean, yeah,
company.
but-
Yeah, but he wouldn't
but-
like false advertise like that. I don't
I
know.
mean,
but
he
it's
has
like if
before.
he hype it up,
I'm
like,
sure he
Who
endorsed.
would you
he
root
can
for?
use that.
Who would I
None
root
of them.
for?
I find
I
them
don't
both
give a
Root
annoying.
for
I'd probably
No.
root for Elon.
No.
I don't really have.
I honestly
care.
don't care.
Yeah, I don't.
It would
like,
just be a cool fight. to
Root is
see.
a very strong word. I would want Elon to win,
I wouldn't
That's
care.
rooting for them.
but rooting is like really hoping he would.
Mhm.
I
No,
don't care that much, realistically.
I think.
I mean,
it's
yeah.
just
If
silly.
I had
Alright,
to pick
so-
somebody, I guess I would pick Elon.
So
You know
here's a
what's
quote
sad?
from Dana White.
I watched this video from
hello.
right. No, I want to change it because I saw this video from Barack Obama, and he said it's so disappointing that the vessel that got lost got so much media coverage, but then
Hmm.
there was
The
that ship with like
refugee
100
ship.
something.
Yeah.
700.
Was it 700? It was crazy. Yeah,
that
no.
drowned, and nobody's talking about that. And I was just
Man, that be
like,
happening all
that
the
is
time,
so
man.
sad.
It's-
Like
Anyway,
what
just to think
that
about
just-
all of that, and then also to bring in like this new news cycle of these two billionaires trying to like get into a like, come on.
Wait,
world.
what are we talking about?
the ship of refugees, it was like 700 people, and then it ended up
Capsized.
it capsized and a lot of them
Mm.
drowned and stuff.
It got no coverage.
If that was a
Right.
ship full of 700 billionaires, I guarantee it would have been all over media.
Tell me about
The
it.
fact that it's
And then
refugees and
also-
stuff
Or-
like
Somebody made
Or
a-
700. Honestly, like not to be like facetious. or anything,
non-refugees, just
Or
anyone.
no refugees
Americans.
from specific parts of the world. They would have
I mean,
gotten
facts.
a lot more coverage. But these
Facts.
are like they said the boat had predominantly refugees from Syria, Pakistan, and Palestine, I think. So
Sad.
Yeah, it's sad how there's definitely favoritism in the world in
Yeah.
terms of like
I lost my train of
hardships
thought. I
that
was
happen
gonna
to
say
certain
something.
people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get into like the whole war situation, but look at like how much coverage the Ukraine war got,
right.
and then like there's so many other wars in the world that are just like people don't
Brushed
even know
under the
about.
rug.
People don't even know about it. Like
Mhm.
it's because media doesn't pick it up, and then whatever.
Unfortunately.
It is what it is.
Sad.
It is what it
It
is.
is what it is. But you know, whatever. Still, rest in peace to those people that
Rest
died
in
in the
peace to
submarine
all
and on the
innocents.
and on the
Everybody.
ship.
Yep. Mhm.
Mhm.
Condolences to their families. You know, it's hard, but
We appreciate y'all watching, you know.
Wait, are you signing out or something? What?
No, I'm saying to the families of
The
the lost who lost their loved
God,
I mean, I don't
They're
think
they're
definitely not watching
they
us.
won't appreciate
Why
me
not?
saying
Hey.
they're stupid.
Do you even
It sounded
know
like
who
you were
we are?
logging off. Like,
Hey.
appreciate y'all watching. Have a good night.
They're not gonna appreciate me
Thank y'all
saying
for
their
coming.
family's stupid for doing that. But
Oh
Alright.
my goodness, that's funny. Okay.
All right, holla. It literally sounded like you were leaving.
Yeah.
Holla
But
for
yeah,
a dollar.
I mean,
on
it
a
is what
lighter
it is.
note, I saw this thing on Twitter. It was kind of funny, or not funny, but it went pretty viral. If someone asks you what is the closest time to midnight, options are A 11:55 a.m., B 12:06 a.m., C 11:50 a.m., and D 12:03 a.m. Well, what would you say the answer is? What's the
D?
closest time to midnight?
D,
D.
12:03 a.m.
Yeah.
See, some people are
Well,
arguing.
they're stupid.
They're gonna say, "Oh, midnight is for this day, and that was technically yesterday." So
No.
Or, I don't know.
Because of the wording in what is the closest time to midnight. So it's
Oh, it's
Until midnight.
forward,
yeah, the
not
argument
backward?
is like forward.
Okay. Time moves
versus
forward, not
backwards.
backward. Okay.
Yeah.
That's stupid. I heard another argument about time moving forward or backwards. Oh, it was what was it? It was something about like people taking time off or something. And it was if they tell you a meeting is moved back from 2 to 1 or moved back a couple hours, what does that tell you? Like
It
if
sounds
we have
like it
to
would
push,
be made earlier.
Yeah, it
right,
would
and
be
then if we
made
have to
earlier.
if we have to push the meeting back a couple hours, what does that tell you?
Move it to like a later
Later-
time.
Right.
time.
People were going crazy over that. They're like, no, push back means like you're going back in time. So like that means if the meeting was at 2 and they say they're going to push back the meeting a couple hours, that means it's at 12 now as opposed to at 4.
I mean, the way I see it, it's pushing it down.
That's
down
called
the
moving
schedule.
it up. You can move something up.
Move
Yeah.
up means going earlier
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Wait,
And,
you
like-
just did it earlier and moved down.
I'm saying closer.
Like
Closer to
current
now.
time, right? So like the meeting is supposed to be at 10 a.m.
Okay.
but we're moving it
moving
up.
it up
Yeah,
to like
the way I
Getting
see it,
closer to
midnight
9.
is up here, and then that 11:59 is down here. Then it's like if you're moving something up, then it's earlier on in the day. If you're moving something down, then it's lower
Mhm.
down the schedule.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's crazy that you look at it that way. Like when I picture like time or like
just picture a clock.
I picture a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 is right there. 11:59 is right before, like literally a clock. That's
No,
what
I see it like
That's
weird.
weird.
It's
That's weird.
kind of like,
Laterally.
have you seen those videos of people like going to their kids and saying like, pick up the phone, and
he's like,
some going like this, some
No,
going
somewhere
like
like
that.
this or like
Just
Yeah.
like,
holding.
that's
oh,
crazy.
take a picture. And instead of doing this, they're like taking a selfie
Oh,
of
like
themselves.
that.
The selfie one, I was
That's
like,
crazy.
oh my
That's
god.
crazy.
Dude, that's crazy that there's people in this world that are young enough to not know that phones used to be like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? That's
Crazy.
wild.
Oh, like I've seen like videos of parents like giving their kid like a cassette or a VHS tape, and them not knowing
Like what is this?
what is this or what to do with it.
That's
Kinda
crazy.
sad.
I was recently, I don't remember. I think I was talking to a client and we were talking about VHSs and how you had to like, once you finish the movie, you had to like rewind it
Yeah, it's
to be
the
able to
etiquette
start the
and
Oh.
the
movie
right
back
thing
up
to do.
again. And
Damn,
I
I
was
forgot
like,
know
about that.
Yeah,
You had
I
to
completely
manually
forgot about
rewind
that.
it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't like restart on its own.
no, you had to
No.
rewind the tape back.
Oh, that's crazy. I
The
completely forgot about that.
entire movie, rewind it back.
Like, how
So
long
that-
does that take?
I don't
I was
remember.
like, I don't know, 3 minutes.
No, I'd say longer than 3 minutes.
Really?
It's
It
just a
wasn't
sped
that
up
fast.
version of the movie.
It was longer than that.
But I
5
just
minutes.
remember like it's always annoying when you want to watch something, you put it in, and you're just like, oh great.
It's not all the
So
way
then
in
you
the
have to
back.
rewind. You know you have to rewind when like the credits start rolling. It's like no, and then you also, if you're savvy, you try to like not look while you're rewinding because it kind of ruins
Yeah.
the movie for you because you know.
Mhm.
So you're just like, okay, wait, let me rewind as far as I can, like as fast as I can, and let me run away.
I love how you're
Hilarious.
pressing because like the more you press it, the faster.
Or like
it
with the
goes.
cassette tapes, you had to do the same thing, like rewind them and we would put them in the pencil.
And like
oh, I
spin it.
remember
it.
that was
Yeah,
fun.
good
That was a lot
times.
of fun.
The old
You
cassette
don't know what
tapes, like
cassette
music.
tapes look like, do you? No, I feel
I
like
know
you
what
do.
a
do.
We
cassette
had
tape
them.
looks like.
So it's the same thing. Like once you listen to the whole disc through, you have to rewind the
Disc?
tape.
No, the cassette you flip
The
it.
cassette.
You listen to the other side.
No, but the other side is
Wait, so why did we used to do that?
Because
we
you
used to do
only
it to
wanna listen
rewind
on
it.
this
when
side.
the little tape would get like tangled up or flipped over or something.
You rewind
Right.
it
have to,
with
like,
your
pull
pen
it-
if you
Oh,
want.
I remember
would have to
ruining
pull
a
it.
few cassettes.
Right, and then we have to pull it out, make sure it's straight, and then like
Mhm.
roll the thing back up so
Yeah.
it like eats it back
But
up.
I think he's right. If you want to listen to just one side after you finish that side,
Oh, you would
because
probably have
usually
to.
you flip it and then play the next side.
Yeah, but the other side is something else though. It's not the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
That's why.
But it's like
if
a
you would just want to listen
continuation.
to
Like,
the
let's
first
say
half.
you're
Oh, yeah.
listening to jokes. Like, remember, like
Right,
when my
right.
parents
Oh
would
my
have
God.
those like comedian
Oh
stuff,
man, good times.
and then you're like, oh no, I don't want to listen to this. I don't want.
That is
Yeah.
so.
And then,
fun.
wait, remember when we made my dad one?
Wait, what?
I guess they recorded a cassette.
You
tape.
were
you
there
were
too.
involved. He
Was I
wasn't
really?
born
Yes.
yet. Yeah.
How
We
young
were-
was I?
We were back in Sudan, and my
Like-
dad was in.
I was probably
Holanda.
like 2. I don't remember this.
Nah, you
No,
were
you
older than
were.
that.
Oh my god.
What you mean? I left Sudan. We left Sudan when I was 3. What are you
No,
talking
you were like at least
Okay,
4.
but you were there.
something.
No,
Yeah.
I
about? We
don't
left
remember,
Sudan
but
when I was
anyway.
3.
No, we left Sudan in 2000.
Sudan or
I was
Holanda?
born in 2001.
Oh, we left
Genius.
Sudan. My dad
Yeah.
left for Holanda in 1999. Yeah, you were born in 01.
Yeah,
we,
we left to
we left Sudan in 2000.
Wait,
Yeah.
so how
My dad
long
left
did you
Sudan
live
in
Holanda?
98, and then we
Netherlands
left
war?
2 years
Hollanda's
later.
Netherlands.
You were 5.
Holland. So
You were
there's
in
no way.
kindergarten. Do you not
So hold
remember
up.
you with your
wearing
little
the
dress?
Maria and
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
But kindergarten wasn't. Oh, I was like,
You had
yeah, I was
to
probably like
have
4.
been at
Remember
least
his,
4.
like cute
Yeah.
little green
stripes.
school
Oh my
uniform.
God.
wait,
Then
so
you
you
had a little-
we were
Let's
only
not talk about
in
that.
Netherlands for a year?
No, it was like
No.
2.
No, we were in
going on
Netherlands for a
3.
year before you were born.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Damn.
so back to that. I just remember that we made him a little tape.
Yeah,
And
we
that
recorded him a little tape, and we were like telling
Oh,
him
and we
jokes.
sent it to Holanda.
Yeah,
Yes.
'cause we were in
Oh, I
Sudan.
remember
I'm
that.
pretty sure he still had that tape. Like
I
I'm
remember
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure
that.
it's
probably
still
in that
here.
box in the basement.
Yeah, we should
remember that.
definitely like
Oh,
Oh
my
no,
God.
let's
find
not.
some of those things.
That was probably some lame
Ew.
old jokes.
Yeah,
Y'all niggas was
Good.
definitely not funny. I was the funny one.
Good time.
you thought you were funny.
Till I was
If
born.
you guys
Mm-mm,
could
not funny.
go back in time, like considering like our childhood, like growing up in Sudan, growing up in Holanda, and then coming here, like, would you change any part of that? I personally, I enjoyed every part of it. I enjoyed the journey of like leaving Sudan and then going to Holanda and discovering Holanda for the first time. And then being disappointed coming here to I remember we were so mad and upset that we had to leave. You
Yeah,
know,
'cause Holanda was
Holanda and coming here, and we still do. Like you and I would have this conversation a lot. Like, would you guys change anything?
You guys keep saying Holanda. We should probably preface. It's
Holanda is
Netherlands.
Holland.
Netherlands, Holland.
Holanda, Holland, the
I mean, I think they
Netherlands.
understand.
I mean,
Yeah.
still.
Preface.
Yeah, the Netherlands.
AKA
Oh.
Holland, AKA Holanda.
AKA my birthplace.
Hmm.
Would I change
wouldn't-
anything?
I don't think I would change anything.
I don't remember any of it, so.
I probably wouldn't change anything either. But interestingly enough, I was talking to our aunt, who's also like into psychology and whatnot, and I always heard this from relatives, like, oh, before you left, you were always like super energetic, like super outgoing, not shy at all, or whatever. And then after I've grown up, like I've gotten a little bit more shy, more reserved, or whatever. And apparently, she was telling me like, oh, that's probably because like you moved at such a young age, like when you left Sudan, that the shock of not having those people around you all the time again, like shocked you and made you like become more introverted like that.
I
Would you
can see
define
that
yourself
maybe.
as an introvert?
Yeah, for the most part, I think so. Like if I'm not comfortable around someone, I'm usually not talking. Like if I'm in a room of people that I don't know, I'm probably not saying a word.
No, I mean, I remember like for us, for example, when we came into this country and like we didn't know any English, right? We used to have Miss Khan, remember? But
Which, by the way,
before
shout out to
that,
Miss Khan. I ran into her son at the gym like last week or 2 weeks ago.
How do you even like know him?
What do you mean? I have him on
I know
Instagram. He's
him.
my friend.
Like,
I have him on
but you would
Facebook.
recognize him, like,
Yeah.
oh, wow,
Absolutely.
okay.
Wait, which Miss?
And I saw him at UIC. We were at UIC
You
together.
don't know her,
Yeah.
she taught us English. But anyway,
But no,
Was she at
Hey,
elementary? Well, you just named.
well, don't name
So-
it.
I mean, I just named the university I went to, so we could rewind if you want to hear.
So
it.
I do know her, and I know her son.
No, you knew who she was, but
You
I'm
just
just
said
saying.
I wouldn't know her, stupid.
No, I just said she taught us. I don't think I said you
No,
don't know
you
her.
said I
think
wouldn't
you
know
said
her.
you don't
You
know
said you
it.
would have known.
My bad. Whoops.
Don't exclude me, nigga.
But back
My bad,
back to my
whoops.
point.
Hello.
So for those for during that time, like she was teaching us English, right? But then you have to realize, like the rest of the time, we were in the classroom with our, American
Classmates.
kid and classmate who only spoke English and didn't speak our, other language. They didn't speak Dutch. They didn't speak Arabic. And so we were just not doing anything. We were trying to communicate. They were trying to communicate to us. Like we couldn't do anything. And then I remember I was the coolest kid in class when we were learning about Anne Frank. And then she had a letter that she wrote, and they had a picture of the letter in our history book. And I'm like, oh, I get to read this, and I can actually understand it. So actually, like, my teacher did tell me like to read it, and I understood that, and so I was able to read it. And it was something about like, this is a photo of me when I'm wishing to be in Hollywood or something like that.
So
like a
how did
very
you
tiny
translate?
letter, huh?
How did you translate?
I didn't translate. I
He was just reading it. That he
Read it
was in
out loud
Dutch.
to the group.
Yeah. It wasn't like about translating. It was just about like.
So you just read something in Dutch?
No.
class?
He knew. The teacher knew that my two languages were Arabic and Dutch, and so when we were learning about Anne Frank, like Mr. Rashid, like he remembered, and so he came up to me and he's like, "Can you read this?" And I said, and I started reading it
In front of the class?
Yeah.
Just because
But for once,
flexing,
like,
flexing
wow.
the bilingualness.
Mm-hmm.
That's
How do you say
crazy that
bilingualness?
all of your guys' teachers
Bilinguality.
I knew.
Hello.
Wait, what?
You spent your entire childhood at that school from start to finish.
I know, but it's crazy to think like
he knew all of our teachers.
All of your teachers, like they all.
You didn't know all of them though, because some of them left.
He just name dropped 2 of them that I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
and like
you didn't know Mr. Moot.
How many?
No, I don't know.
I don't think you even knew Mr.
I know Mr. Moot.
I know him.
Yeah, you knew him.
The bald head dude.
He wasn't bald. He looks like Trump.
Ginger.
He looks like Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let's not talk about people's name on the podcast.
I thought it was like I thought it was bald on the top and like had hair on the side.
Let's change this topic. I don't like. Can you imagine one day they listen to this wherever
Who
they
was the
are?
Moot?
And to be honest, I think like this is a really good place to kind of end our first episode of season 2. So I think we should like do something fun.
We're already halfway towards our
season finale.
Our season 1, halfway through season 1. An episode
hilarious.
Anybody have the fun way of closing us out?
Sure do. Hold on. Okay, we have this game. It's a decision maker. I like to call it a fortune teller. Let's show it to the camera.
I've actually seen a couple of TikTok of people just going live showing this and having people comment their question.
Yeah.
They got to donate in order to ask the question.
You just basically spin this thing and then it magnetically will stop at one of them and give you the answer. So we're going to play some rounds of that.
So the answers are never, always, yes, no, maybe.
And maybe. So I can start us off.
I got to think of a question now, right?
Yeah.
I think I have a pretty good one.
We'll just think of one
go ahead.
while she's going.
Wait, are you supposed to say the question out loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so it's not a personal. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Change your question.
So,
I think I got mine.
Decision maker. What we would like to know is if the M4 podcast will be a household name.
Oh God.
Doom doom doom.
Better say yes. Better say
Let's
yes.
I think you got to
Better
spin
say
it.
yes.
You spin it. Okay.
Give it a good rotation,
give it
please.
Yeah.
Bang bang. Let's see.
Even, I guess.
Drum roll.
Oh shoot.
It's not looking too hot.
It's killing me.
Not looking too hot. Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll
We'll
take a
take it.
maybe.
What
At least it's not or no or never.
Yeah, at least they
Oh
didn't
my
know.
God.
It was
Damn.
teetering on the
This
edge of
was
no.
intense.
It was
sure.
leaning towards never, and I was like, okay, well,
I guess might as well
Oh,
quit right now.
That is intense.
We're
Season
quitting
one-
after one episode.
Season
this
1 had
season.
2 episodes. Season 2 is gonna have one episode. We
the
out.
finale.
There's a trend going on
And
here.
3 doesn't
God
exist.
damn.
Series finale, season 3.
All right, who wants to
Okay.
go next?
Do you have one? I genuinely don't have
I don't have a
one.
question yet. You said you have one.
I
right?
mean, mine was kind of like along the same lines.
Okay, wait,
Mm.
I have one. Will I trip and fall at my graduation?
Uh-oh.
Oh god.
Oh my god, that's full circle because we were talking about like if you ever felt embarrassment on the first episode.
Oh yeah, why does that matter if
Oh.
you don't get embarrassed?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's something.
It's embarrassing.
Oh goodness.
Wait, you said will I trip and fall?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
It took a while at yes. Look how long it's taking at yes. No.
Man,
All right. Well, I guess I'm already like debating if I want to
The
go to
decision
my
has been
graduation.
made.
he's falling on
Mo
stage,
is falling on stage.
but it's okay. He doesn't feel embarrassment.
Have your
It's-
cameras
Apparently,
ready.
It's okay.
How
We'll
do you-
film it specifically
makes
for
no
the
sense.
podcast.
By the way, you guys are not invited to my graduation. Just so you guys know, you guys can watch it
I
virtually.
wasn't trying to go anyway.
Good.
damn. That's
mine's
I'm
next
kidding.
Friday, so just so you know, you're
we
all
coming?
invited.
Are we coming?
Oh, you better.
Okay.
How you gonna tell us a week before? Like, and
You-
you expect us to
what
be
if
there?
I had
This is
plans?
As
BS.
if we were
This
gonna
is
do
BS.
something.
You've
No,
known
but
about
we
this.
knew.
You've known about this for
I just
swear I
months
did it.
and months.
the
I
intro
literally
of
had
the
no idea.
podcast. I just congratulated her and said at the end of this month. So
Yeah, I didn't know
we
she had a
knew.
graduation though. What the heck? I hear you can go.
I didn't know we were going to it. I mean,
I don't know what to
I-
ask.
I
I,
said-
gotta think of
yeah.
a question.
I don't know what to ask yet.
Hmm.
Let me think about it real
Okay.
quick.
One-
Decision maker. Will I fall on stage at my graduation? Nah,
Always.
no way.
Always. Always.
Are you gonna be wearing heels?
I don't know. I
If you're
guess.
planning on it, you better
I
wear.
guess my
if it
decision
says yes, you
depends
better wear
on
some
this.
plaids.
You better wear Crocs.
Always.
man.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Keeping it,
Show the
keeping
camera.
it spicy. All right, I'll take my chances. At least it's not a yes.
But did you notice how yes took like
Yeah.
immediately and it just like lingered there
Okay,
for a
I'll
while?
go for it. Will
Good
the
question.
M4 podcast hit 1 million subscribers?
Ooh,
This year.
The YouTube channel.
This year. That's
Wait,
a little ambitious
talking about the
considering
YouTube
we're
channel?
halfway
Yeah,
through the
YouTube
year.
channel.
Oh God, it is.
Yeah, Loki, it's
halfway.
almost July
How do you-
already.
We're in the second half of the year.
How do you
Sir,
do this?
spin it?
Just give it a
Don't
spin.
spin as hard. There
There
you go.
Okay.
1
Hit a
milli,
million,
1
not,
milli.
not specifically this year. Just hit 1 million in
How do they
general.
make these weird movements?
Hopefully
It's
not
like
that long.
Possessed almost.
It's because it's magnetic.
Because it's a Ouija board.
Ooh, it
Ooh,
was
that's a
teetering between-
yes.
It was
Never
teetering
and
between
yes.
yes and never.
I said this year, and I think it heard me. So 1 million followers this year. Thanks in advance.
I mean, you saw it. You kind of have to. So go
Yeah.
hit that subscribe button.
Help us get there, please.
You don't want this bad juju on your
All right,
bad
can
side.
you ask a question so we can wrap this?
I don't know what to ask.
It's gonna be another hour.
Will I travel overseas this year?
Put it down. Put it.
You
on the
already
table.
did.
Haven't you already?
Again?
Yeah.
I haven't traveled anywhere this year.
Put it down.
overseas.
Oh, World Cup was last year.
Yeah, I came
It
back in
was?
December.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Wow,
put it
right.
down,
That's
boo.
crazy.
Well, oh, I gotta put it down, right?
Mm.
Let's do it.
Drum roll for the
Wait,
final
if it lands
question.
on never, does that mean I'm never traveling overseas again? Or just that?
This
No,
year, but
never
you should
this
just
year.
said this year.
Yeah, hopefully. Yo, what the heck?
Maybe.
Maybe. Lame. I'd have rather had a no.
Llama.
Maybe.
I don't even want to be here.
Teetering
Right.
the edge.
I don't even
This
want
is
to be on the
whack.
street.
Whack.
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. What a great way to end the podcast.
Mhm.
Very creative of you. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening, and those of you that are watching us on YouTube, thank you for that. And we will be back next time with episode 2.
Hopefully not
AKA
2
the
years
finale.
from now.
Yeah,
The finale of season 2.
definitely not 2 years from now.
On a semi-consistent schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peace.
We'll see
All right.
you when you see you.
See you in the next one. Bye.